last year. Hopefully this is all going to go well. I can kind of hear a slight delay of sorts going on. I think it's gone now. Not sure. But hey, what's up? It's Gear and Demos show. I'm back after a couple weeks off. Dealing with life stuff. What's up, people in the chat? I've got obviously a special guest here, but I've got another special guest planned coming soon. And let's see if I can maybe just mute that mic, and that takes care of the echo. There we go. Sweet. So yes, special guest EVH 5150 amp in the house. And then we also have special guest Johnny Bean showing up as well. I'm pulling up the old laptop over here so I can see the chat on YouTube and see who's in the chat. And yeah, man, what's going on, everybody? Zach Thong in the house. How's it going? Thank you for joining. By the way, this is the Gear and Demo show. That's right. And that's right. Keep clapping. That's right. Thanks for coming back, everybody. I had a short hiatus. One more clap for the hiatus. Back from the hiatus. Let me know how I sound. Does everything sound okay? I've got the mic down here. I don't like the mic in my face. I just don't like it that way. So I like it down here. Hoping that you guys can hear me good. You got a good view of the EVH, the 5150 Iconic there. Some guitars. This one's kind of out of the shot, but this is the one that JJ knows I'm going to be playing through that, right, JJ? That's right, JJ's House of Jams. James, what's up, brother? What's happening? Got a whole bunch of cool people in the chat. Starting off with Zach Thong in the house first. Right on, Zach Thong. Thank you for joining. I've got things, as usual, precariously placed around here, and something could happen. Who else do we have? Tim Thomas in the house, too. What's up, Tim Thomas? Move some of the stuff out of the way. Then we have, of course, we have Charles 75N in the house, too. What's up, Charles? Thanks for joining. I think this will work just like this. Right here. Yeah. And then who else we have? We have, of course, we have me in there, too. Tim Thomas. Did I say Tim Thomas already? I don't know. JJ's House of Jams. That's right. The Falcrow's in. Brody's Jam Cave is in. What's happening, everybody? Thanks for coming on the show. So, yeah, if you guys could tell by the title, this is kind of an ongoing theme lately. Oh, yes, I have to represent, right, properly. The proper representation. Eddie Van Halen, King of Mods. Hey, Hobo Rody, thanks for coming back too. Right on, King of Mods, Eddie Van Halen. A lot of like events going on in the coming months. As you all know, Randy Rhoads' untimely passing is going to be coming up soon. I was one of the lucky guys who caught him. Ooh, my arm's in the shot there. It's one of the lucky guys who caught him live with Ozzy. Hey, Octopus Ears, previously known as Magic Man. What's happening, Octopus Ears? Got to give you a clap. Hobo Rody gets a clap. The Falco gets a clap. Everybody gets a clap over here because it's a clapper. What's going on? I like the hat, the Falco. That's cool, man. I don't know if you guys noticed my new insignia here. No, that's not Black Flag or something like that in red. It's the Stu Mac hat. I have to get something from Stu Mac. I bought some really cool gear from them as well. Some, I guess you could call it kind of maintenance or guitar work gear. Because one of my plans this year is actually to build a guitar out of that chunk of redwood that I had left over from those tables I built in the backyard. So that's that redwood is actually, maybe this is kind of a bad angle. It's like, how's that? All right. That piece of redwood I got from that, I guess it was like, what do they call it? Not reconstituted, like saved, found old redwood, right? Big chunks of redwood, that really aged old redwood. And I built some tabletops for the patio. Octopus Ears has seen them. He's been here, but he wasn't Octopus Ears then. Anyway, I digress. Yeah, so we have some cool topics, but yeah, the guitar build idea is something that I've had bouncing around in my head for a while, and obviously there are mods that I want to get done. Yeah, reclaim. Thank you, Charles. Thank you. I'm gonna post that right up here because you know what you're talking about. Reclaimed redwood. And what gave me the idea? I never thought I'd build something. I thought I might use it for shelving or something, like extra small shelves, decorations in the house somewhere. So my sweetie thought it would look cool that way. But it's big enough, and there's enough there where I can like maybe get a guitar out of it, right? And I was thinking about maybe a telly. I think I'm going to stick with the telly because I want a bigger chunk of wood because of the weight. It's such a light wood. And the reason I thought about using that redwood is I played a what's his name now I'm messing it up. Paisley. What's his name? Brad Paisley. So I'm like thinking played Paisley. I can't say played Paisley. Say that 5 times fast. Played Paisley. I can't even do it twice. Anyway, so I played a custom shop Brad Paisley telly at one of my favorite local stores when I was growing up in the peninsula, as we call it, in San Mateo, California, which is on what we call the peninsula, the west side of the bay. We don't call it the West Bay, we call it the peninsula. San Mateo County. Lived in San Mateo, and in Redwood City, Redwood, right? There's Gelb Music, and I played a Brad Paisley custom shop Telecaster there, Fender Telecaster, that was extremely light and was really nice. Nice, obviously, custom shop guitars, right? Super cool guitar. If you like Telecasters, that's one of the good ones definitely to pick up. There's several others, obviously, but what do I know? I'm a keyboard dude playing guitars that doesn't even play that well. Bottom line is I do know what sounds good, that's for sure. And when I played that thing and how it, resonated and rang in my hands, it said something to me. And I thought, wow, this is kind of interesting. And it wasn't redwood. It was, I think it was cedar. It was a solid cedar body guitar. And I know you guys probably know that Telecasters can be known for being a little weighty, kind of like Les Pauls, right? And I got one of those right over here, right behind me. Should I grab it? Ooh, I got a super squeaky chair, don't I? Darn it. Anyway, the point being is I got a Les Paul sitting over here. I should have switched chairs with that one. You know what? Let me switch. This is going to just squeak away when I'm playing the guitar and stuff. Oh, get this out of the way. You're going up on the couch. Get the keyboard thing. Oops, now I'm bumping that. This is what I do. This is what I do when I'm doing this stuff. I end up knocking over something. I'm probably going to knock over this expensive Friedman guitar, but it is a relic guitar. So if I knock it over, no one's going to know. Not even me, because I don't look too closely at that thing, right? To see if there's any bumps on it. Back to there we go. How's that? Better? Pick up these headphones. I don't need these headphones right now. Yeah, anyway, so as I was saying, something's falling down. Yeah, so the Brad Paisley guitar made of cedar. It's really light, and I thought, well, I'll make one. And I worry about like the neck pocket and how the neck's going to hold on to that. How tight. It has a heavy body, your telly build, right? So a lot of times people buy ash, or they're going to buy, whatever. Rarely do you see a mahogany bodied telly, right? But there are some out there, I'm sure. There's the rosewood ones, like what's his name? I don't know why I can't remember the Beatle. George. Anyway, George's guitar was, I think he had a telly made of solid rosewood. So you can imagine how heavy that was. Wow. Anyway, definitely a sit-down kind of guitar. Yeah, Harrison, yeah, it came to me. Thank you. Couldn't even get the George out. So a little bit nervous tonight for different reasons, not normal reasons. Normally I'm not camera shy or nervous talking to people. I'll talk until the cows come home, including the blue cow that Johnny Bean and I saw today at Bishop Ranch in San Ramon, which is like an outdoor mall. I joined up with him real quick while he was having lunch with his buddy. Anyway, so we hung out a little bit, chatting about stuff. But I'll probably divulge some of these things in a future episode. I want to do an actual episode all about gear and gear hoarding, or what do you want to call it? If you want to call it that, if you want to call it an obsession, gear acquisition syndrome, all this kind of stuff. Sometimes I'm buying gear when I'm not even playing it or using it. It kind of seems silly at times, or foolish. So, but yeah, this piece of gear was one of those kind of purchases where I just felt like I had to get it. They're hard to find. They're going as quickly as you see them in a store. And after hearing it, I definitely thought this is not just any old amp. It's, even though it's a Chinese-made amp, it's pressboard material and all. MDF or whatever you want to call it. It's really well thought out amp with a lot of really, really, really great features in it. And after you watch this show, go check out Johnny Bean's show. He's going to pop in and join in on some of the commentary here about this amp. He had one of the builders, or one of the main people working at Fender Amps, Harold Kaplan. Howard. See, Howard Kaplan. Yeah. Gear abuse. And I am unworthy. Yeah, I'm unworthy as well, Hobarodi. So I know how you feel, right? Yeah, totally know how you feel. Boney Jean. Yeah, Boney Jean. Yeah, my tongue is slipping. My slung is tipping. So I got to have a little glass of the Route 66 here. You can see that. Ugh. It's a big cube of ice with something kind of amber in color inside. That's all I'm telling. Anyway, so yeah, I'll divulge some of the goings on that kept me from doing videos the last week around here in regards to a lot of this. And this has a lot to do with it. But it's not just this. This is like maybe a piece of that. It's a bigger problem that, stems from my early childhood probably. And I'm dealing with it. I'm seeking help. I'm going to hey Jeff K. I'm going to counseling to deal with this because it's a big deal. You don't want to hurt anyone in your life that you love, and when you hurt people in your life that you love, you need to right those wrongs in some way, even if it's not for the sake of winning any battle or any argument or any whatever. It's about just getting to the next level, right? Let's always trying to get to a next level, closer and closer to, I wouldn't call it perfection, but maybe what we're destined to be, which in many in my mind, to many people that I listen to, certain people I really admire. Steve Vai, for example, he turned me on to, hey Amanda, thanks for coming to my first subscriber outside of myself, because I subscribed my sweetie to my channel. She didn't care, but Amanda did, and she joined, and I became good friends with her and her brother Ben, who's an awesome dude, whom introduced me to JJ's House of Blues. See, I'm all messed up tonight. JJ's House of Jams. Anyway, I'll get through all this, hopefully, without too much more of that happening, right? Anyway, so without further ado, here's the EVH Iconic amp. Here it is. And I do have my Friedman plugged in right here, if you guys want to see that. I have a few other guitars at hand. If you guys want to hear it with a Les Paul. Ooh, did I? Oh, I did. Cable got underneath the chair. My Ultra Relic, Super Relic, I don't know, what do you call this? Abused guitar. This previously owned by Philip McKnight, as a matter of fact. And signed by him on the back. Inside the pocket, right there in gold. And I thought that would be cool. But I love this color. I love surf green. Can never find a good surf green guitar. And then I find this one at Dane's Zims Guitars in Mesa, Arizona. Look him up. And it's just an outstanding guitar. It just really is just amazing. Awesome playing and feeling and sounding guitar. Anyway. So we'll mess around with that in a minute. So I'll probably just go over some of the features on this amp first, if you guys really are interested. Matt Stewart, what's happening? Janice Lala lurking as always, but can't stay long as always because she's got a rock. Dwight Bailey, what's up? Octopus Ears. Yeah. You know who that is, right, Dwight? Anyway, so what's up, the hitman, Dwight Bailey? What's happening? So, yeah, there are going to be some interesting things happening on my channel in the future months. I will actually be getting rid of some gear, which, believe it or not, mostly pedals in the beginning, because I have so many. Just because I just need to do that. It's just something that's part of my, I guess, rehabilitation, if you want to call it that. Yeah, the speakers are the vintage 30s, so Celestion V30s or vintage 30s. As a matter of fact, I'm going to be getting another pair of those to go along with the greenbacks that I have upstairs in storage that are going to go into this cabinet over here that I got from used. Just a cab that's got some blown speakers in it. I'm going to reconstitute this thing and rewire it up, crisscross, kind of Dave Friedman style, vintage 30 greenback, setup, and try to maybe even, I don't know, we have to discuss how we can do this with my buddies coming over, Octopus Ears, how we can wire it up so I can do it stereo as well. Because I'd like to be able to do that, especially with certain kinds of effects. So, because I'm a child of the 80s, man, so I like that ping-pongy kind of left-right channel kind of thing going on in the guitars when I'm playing it and listening to it too, not just out of a board, which is how it was typically done back in the day, I believe, because they probably just went mono into amps for the most part, right? And so here we are with the Iconic amp, and the other topic that I wanted to raise has to do with tone. So what's all the hype about the Iconic amp? And tone is such a big, debatable, controversial topic amongst guitar and music people, but especially guitarists, especially, right? So I'm definitely store number 9 in safe humidity and temperature. Dude, in this environment, it's always in perfect. You see it right over there. Oh, right there, number 9. You see it, it's sitting there. This room is always, I've got a humidity, it's right over there. So right there, underneath the Satch guitar right there. I'll tell you what it is. It says 40 and 70 right now, so 40 over 70. So it could probably be a little more humid in here, but that's fine. 40 over 70 degrees in here. So, and it stays pretty constant. The temperature might drop a little bit at night because we turn the heater off, but I don't have the heater vent open up here, so I don't let the heat come into this room, so I don't let it dry out in here. So, but yeah, thank you for checking on that, Pooh Ninja. But yeah, man. So the tone controversy. So let me go into that. The only problem is I'm gonna have to remove this cam for a second. So let me go ahead and remove this for a second. So let me go into this until Johnny Bean arrives. I'll go into the tone debate thing because I think this is a pardon me. This is an important topic that we often fight about in the guitar world, right? What's up, Leon? Leon Gaines, what's happening? Dogpaw. What's happening? The Dogpaw. Woof woof. Tweet. I forgot to bring Maximus here. Should go get Maximus. Maybe when Johnny arrives, I'll go get Maximus. Well, he can entertain you guys about a couple things. So I don't know if any of the rest of you follow some of the same channels I do, but one of my favorite guys out of Europe is Kris Barocsi. So he works through the Thomann guys, and now he's got his own channel. That thing's been blowing up pretty fast. He's done some really cool mod stuff, which I really enjoy watching. And he's just an all-around cool player, cool guy, honest for the most part. I think you can rely on his honesty and things. And there he is. I'll bring him in a second. But yeah, well, I can bring Johnny in on the tone debate too. Let's bring him in.
Tone debate?
Yeah, so I was just bringing it up, so I'll bring you in on this. So there's this guy, Jim Lill, and he posted a video where he's basically, again, doing scientific tests of the sounds of guitars, whether it's a piece of 2x4 that he has wired up, or strings across 2 wooden benches that he has wired up like a guitar with, the knobs and controls. and then his actual, I guess, parts caster, Telecaster, and then an expensive, like expensive Anderson Telecaster. And he says, like, there's no difference in tone. And so, of course, this, the tone debate is a huge debate out there. So I'll just read you guys my comment on Kris Barocsi's channel. Because my question, I think the real question is, what is tone in the first place, right? Let's dig into this, right? And I have my opinion. I'll say it after I read you this comment that I left on his channel. And then Johnny can swing in on this if you want to. But this is what I wrote. I wrote, clearly it's, okay, no, that's the wrong one. Okay, I got the wrong one, dang it. Hold on. See, this is what happens. I get excited.
Just read that one.
Yeah. Well, no, because it's got to be sequential. Because the one comment after the other. Okay, here we go. I'll just open his. So here I wrote, basically after his assessment, he says, no, none of those really sounded the same, and you can't really call the strings connected between two pieces of wood benches an air guitar, because it's actually connected to those two wooden benches, so that's going to resonate. And he was talking about resonance and how resonance affects the sound of how the strings are vibrating. It's every part of what affects the string's vibration causes a change in its overall frequency and resonance, and that's a big part of it. So this is what I wrote. I said to him, I could not agree with you more, Kris. The tone wood issue has had so much BS thrown at it from both sides, it's hard to see the facts from the misrepresentations of facts. But Kris's statements here are based on what I think are sound principles and more scientific in nature, because he considered all the factors that affect the tone, including the player, which is holding and playing the instrument and therefore affecting the resonance as well. The problem with the tone wood argument is the very argument itself. That's my opinion. Like the tree falling in the forest, it only matters something to the observer, the one who's there hearing it. And therein lies the problem in this argument, I think. Each observer will have their own relative perspective upon the subjective issue, such as tone. One final note, I said, which of those guitars, the 2x4 one or the string between two benches guitar, would a rock star want to play up on stage in the first place? And that's a big part of it, right? Well, we know your answer, Kris's answer and mine. It's definitely not the log or the air guitar, which is really just a table guitar, if you ask me. And so I said to Kris, great reaction video that he made. Then the other comment I made here on Jim's was clearly, okay, he had two Honda motorcycle motors holding down this like 2x4, like, I don't know if you want to call it a shelf or what, that the strings were connected in between. One was like the headstock and the other was another table that was being used as the bridge. And he had these two Honda engines holding it stable. So I made the joke initially. I said, clearly it's the Honda engines sitting on the shelf that are the magic in the air guitar's tone. And then I said, seriously though, the tone wood and the guitar parts in the boutique guitar versus parts caster debate is so subjective. There's no way to scientifically prove one side's right or wrong. But the real question to me is, which of those would you rather be playing on stage? Which of those would you rely on to take on a grueling tour around the world, right? Just like the clothes we wear, the cars we drive, etc., it's all about the person who's in them. And therein lies the real reason there are so many different guitars out there. Like the tree that falls in the forest thing again, does it make a sound? It really only matters to the observer, and each observer will hear something slightly different. And then I make this point. Gibson understood this key difference, this key point, when Les Paul brought to them his original log guitar. No one would want to play a log guitar up on stage, and that's why Gibson laughed at it. I mean, it's obvious to me. To me, the tone debate's not just about the sound. That's a big part of it. But it's also how it looks, how it feels in your hand, how it makes you feel emotionally when you're playing it. The thought about that EVH guitar, or me picking up this Friedman guitar, or me picking up that Les Paul or whatever. It's all about how it makes you feel when you play too. It's a big part of guitar and music is not a concrete thing. It is very subjective in nature. There's a lot of emotion wrapped up around it. And if you don't factor that into this whole tone debate thing, you're missing a big part of what music is all about. Hence why a lot of the digital stuff and and I'm going to say this in kind of a mean way, but I don't mean it in a mean way. When the nerds took over music and put everything digital, they wrecked, they ruined music for a while. In some ways, there's a lot of problems with music and how it's created today because of it being scientifically broken down into like these data things instead of it being this in my mind something a lot more analog, if you want to use that word, versus digital. So there's my spiel.
Well, I mean, I don't have my sound machine, so I can't applaud. I mean, I can do that, I guess.
All right.
There it is. And hey, everybody.
Anyway,
speaking of tone, I hope that the sound of my mic isn't too terrible because I'm using it. I just bought a Heyday Bluetooth headphone and mic to use. So if it sounds like crap,
it's not as good as usual, but it'll be fine.
Yeah. But the thing is, I mean, with tone, I mean, the sound, it really. I mean, I've always thought about like there's two different types of tone. There's the tone which is the actual sound that you're hearing, like the actual guitar,
mm-hmm.
And then there's the tone of the player, the way they play.
That too. I think those things.
There's that as well, but it all comes down to. I mean, yeah, different things sound different. Everybody's ears are different. Right. Not everybody's ears are the same. And something that sounds amazing to one person might be okay to the other because it has to do with what they're hearing. But as far as actual tone, I mean, that's the actual sound of an electric guitar, either the sound coming through the amp or the sound, the acoustical sound coming out of the guitar or off the guitar. That's the actual tone. I mean, the player, a player is not going to make a real piece of crap sound tonally any better. Yeah, they might sound better in a sense that they play great. But as far as the actual sound of what's coming through, I mean, it's. I think a lot of it can get very confusing to some people. I mean, that's the way I see it. I see it as two separate, different things. It depends on what you're talking about.
Trying to get this camera.
Sorry. You know what I mean? Like let's take our earbuds. I'm using. See, I don't know. I have no idea what I sound like to you guys because I just bought these things. So they might sound like crap to you guys. So that's the tone of what this mic sounds like, right? But let's say if somebody else were to use these and there's different tones, different sounds of their voice. See, like your voice is like the sound of the guitar. I hope this makes sense. This makes sense. It does. Everybody, like every guitar, every instrument sounds different. Everybody's voice sounds different. And now I'm echoing. So now there's delay. Now there's like a delay pedal.
Is that better?
On this. Check.
That's better, right? Check.
Yeah, that's better.
Okay.
That's better.
I was trying to get that set up so we can bring this in.
And does this make sense to you guys? Sorry, I can't see the comments. When you're a guest on mobile, let me see if I push chat. Does that do anything? It takes me to the comments.
Well,
I can
Ninja
see.
is saying, "Don't take that tone with me. You scoop the mids when you talk to me."
Here, hopefully I don't jump out. Hang on. What does this button do? Hang on.
Well,
okay, I'm still here. I'm still here.
The main point to me is that the debate about tone and whether a guitar and how they're strung up and all this and that. You've picked up two identical guitars. You've plugged them both in.
Right.
They have the same strings on them, and they'll sound different. They won't be exactly the same.
Well,
there's sometimes differences. Not, I mean, okay, two Les Pauls are going to sound like two Les Pauls, but one's going to be a little different than the other, and it might be a subjective thing that someone picks up on or feels. But like one guy was saying that he noticed on one of his guitars that when it wasn't sustaining properly, he knew that there was a problem. It was probably at the neck pocket, and he found out that one of the screws was just turning and not holding the neck part, the neck tightly. So he put some toothpicks. I think it was actually Steve from Boston, Pixie Licks. He actually did the toothpick repair, got the screw back in there, and voila, sustain came back. So it could be something, a little differences like that can affect what we call tone. But like I make the point that tone is a subjective thing. Everyone's looking for a different one. But why do we all say, for example, that the EVH Brown sound tone?
That's what I'm. Yeah. But see, technically, there's no such thing as the EVH Brown sound. Eddie never meant Brown as in the sound of his guitar.
It had to do with the drums, I know.
Brown had to do with the sound of Al's snare drum. Yeah. But everybody took it the wrong way, and they thought Brown was like the guitar, and then it kind of became that. But see, it depends on the person. It depends on their definition of what tone is. And like I said, it really has to do with your ears.
Yeah, and that too that changes as we age. I mean, I can't hear the high frequencies like other younger people. I mean, that's provable science.
What?
Yeah, see?
All I hear is high frequencies, and this ear is my ear is blown. My ear is shot.
Yeah.
From 12 years ago. I have deafening tendonitis in this one ear. So I always hear like zzz over this one side for years, and I've learned to live with it.
-2, by the way, where Amanda's at. In Fahrenheit, I doubt. That's in Celsius, right, Amanda? That's even worse.
No, this is tone chats, or that's decibels.
Okay. No, that's not decibels. That's temperature, Johnny.
Yeah, I was making a joke.
I know.
But okay, all right. So anyway, I mean, the thing is, it depends on your definition of tone. Because, like I said, to me, there's two types of tone. There's the tone of the actual sound you're actually hearing, and then there's the tone of the player.
Yeah.
But see,
you're talking about even an overall tone of the player versus the sound versus some of these people arguing about the very instrument that they're holding, the guitar itself, whether or not, different instruments are going to have.
The thing is, too, though, man, I hate to say it, but most of the people that have this debate have no idea what they're talking about.
I think you're right about that too.
They have no idea what they're, and most of them are shitty players. I hate to say that.
Here's another thing.
That's true as well.
Producer, he's a decent, YouTuber guy. He seems to have, his stuff together when it comes to understanding like what sounds should be. Glenn Fricker, he made a comment about this, and he's like, exactly, But then somebody else commented, which I kind of agreed with, was he's a metal music producer. You're not going to hear a heck of a lot of tone differences when you're playing at high gain levels. And he does a little video blurb too, where he's got metal players and different guys on the same guitar, and okay, the hands don't make a difference. Okay, the guitar doesn't make a difference. This doesn't make a difference. That doesn't make a difference. And it's like, wait a minute, that's because you're playing at such a high gain that nothing makes a difference.
No, the thing is, it all makes a difference. The thing is, it all makes a difference, but at the same time, it doesn't, because it really depends on what you're talking about. Every guitar, every like you and me, we can. Hey, Clue, you and me can plug into the exact same setup, exact same thing. Totally, and the sound that will be coming through, it'll be the exact same sound sonically. Okay? It'll be the same. It'll be exactly the same. If we use the exact same guitar, same amp, same pickup, same strings, everything. But the sound of the player will be totally different. Even though sonically it's the same, technically it'll be different.
Yeah.
Okay.
Exactly. And and here's another thing too. Like, you can recognize, like, by just a note or two, if it's Eric Johnson, if it's Steve Vai, if it's Eddie Van Halen, if it's Yngwie Malmsteen, if it's Richie Blackmore, if it's Eric Clapton.
Well, with Malmsteen, it'll be a note or 1,000. It won't be one or two.
He'll be so fast now. I remember back in the day, he was like the fastest anyway. But the point is that we do recognize an individual player's unique tone. And that's what everyone is chasing when they're trying to create music of their own. They want to find
the thing is, that's if you know them.
Right.
That's if you know. That's only if you know them. If you stop somebody on the street and played Eric Johnson to them and they didn't know who that was, and then played them Steve Vai.
Well, let's say, okay, I'll argue that point because it's a good one. Let's say you played a short phrase of each player's and you'd ask him, can you hear a difference in how they sound? Don't tell me people wouldn't recognize the difference between how they sound. Just like you've got the 3 tenors up there. They're all tenors.
It depends.
There are 3 different sounding tenors, and you can tell the difference between Andres Bocelli and one of the other guys, because I don't know who they are.
There's 2 other guys.
I know. I kind of know who they are, but I can't remember right now. But you know the point.
Yeah.
So we do recognize.
Well, the thing is, because those guys, the thing is, the 3 tenors, what they do is they work together to make one sound.
And that's a chorus.
It's a chorus. That's exactly what that is.
When you do a doubling effect with an engineer by mixing one tape off of the other, and you do 2 parts and you stack them, doubling.
That's how you get
what you're doing. Yeah.
That's how you get a flanger. That's what a flanger is. That's flanging.
Right. I mean, there were so many different ways they did that, kind of to thicken the sound of a live recording versus, a recorded like part of a song or whatever. You know what I'm trying to say.
No, I don't.
The point is that when you're doubling up 2 parts together on top of each other and you're playing the exact same thing, it's going to be a little bit off and a little bit different, and it thickens the sound. So they would double things up, and they used to say, "Oh, Eddie's doubling up," and he's like, "No, he's not. He's actually doing that live in one take, and it's not a doubled up take." And that was back in the day. I remember them saying, "Oh, he's doubling," and they're like, "No, it's not. It's him doing that one at one time." All that hammer-on stuff, people couldn't figure it out back in 1980, whatever. Like what the hell?
It depends.
So
it depends. Depends on what that was. But myself, when I used to use a 4-track, well, actually no. Well, even today, a lot of times I'll double the same track. I'll play it twice, exactly. And then I'll hard pan one left, hard pan the other right. And what you do is you're hearing the exact same thing on both sides, but since they're 2 different takes, you hear the slight. You hear how you can hear how they're different, but they're the same, and it creates a bigger sound. Instead of the sound being right here, it's right here.
And there's actually like people that make pedals. Like I think TC Electronics makes a pedal called the Mimic, which is exactly created to make that same kind of roughly like a doubled guitar sound. That's why a lot of the big bands out of the 80s, what did they do to compete against someone like Eddie Van Halen? They got 2 guitars. And Judas Priest was already doing that for a while. But, you got 2 guitars stacking chords on top of each other, and then one soloing with a little bit different tone than the other guy and a little different style than the other guy, and it made it interesting, It wasn't just a threesome or a foursome, but you had like sometimes 4, 5, 6 guys on a band, Well, anyway, I think we've done justice to the tone talk debates. What do you think? What do you guys people think in the chat?
The thing is, it's never ending because you'll never. It'll continue to go on and on and on, depending on who you're talking to. And like I said, most of the people that have this discussion have no idea what they're talking about.
And like you were saying before, if you're not in this community and that talks about this stuff, you're like walking outside of the forest and the tree falls. You don't hear it and you don't care, and it's not even happening in your relative perspective of the world anyway. But to us, it's like the biggest tree, the tone. Anyway, so let's talk about this thing and the tone out of this thing. Hey, Gary.
That's an awesome amp. Yo, hey, everybody. Sorry, I can't see the chat. So
Johnny says hi to everyone. That is a pretty long list of people right now. There's Amanda Coombs is here, Poo Ninja's here, Zach Dong, the Dog Paw, We got Gary
Hey.
Hubbs in here as well. Let's see who else is. Let's scroll up. Symmetry, of course, is here. Tim Thomas,
man.
of course. Who else? We got Symmetry's going to join the gaming later tonight, right? Kurt 5150 was in here a little bit. He's probably still here. Kurt,
Yeah.
I finally watched Friday's show all the way through, and that was some fun stuff, I got to say. And you guys did a great job. Hey, Mr. Mick, you guys did a great job with Howard Kaplan. On the show, and I was able to
happy belated birthday, Howard Kaplan. It was his birthday.
Oh, it was his birthday, so I was mixing it up with Jay. I guess Jay's is later, but he had a birthday unboxing, but an early one, right? Anyway.
Yeah, the previous.
Controller. Yeah.
Oh yeah, it was last Friday at the end. Yeah.
It was at the end, yeah.
That's right.
We got Brody's Jam Cave here too. Let's see who else is here. Of course, Bailey. Who else is here? Adam D's here, or was here. We had Octopus Ears, who used to be the Magic Man.
Oh, hey, man. We were just talking about him today.
So, yeah, we were talking about you, dude.
Did you tell everybody we had lunch? We actually had lunch together.
Yeah.
We were actually hanging out together earlier.
At Bishop
and we were live on Twitch. We actually were live on my Twitch channel for like 13 minutes.
Yeah. Oh, we have one of these things to get rid of here. That happened way up here. I'll get rid of that. Bye-bye. Janice Lala, of course, was here, hanging, lurking, then needing to leave to go play. She might come back as usual. The dog paw, I think I mentioned. Oh, JJ's House of Jams. James was here as well. Jeff K was here.
Hey.
He may still be here. All these people may be lurking, as far as I know. People are popping in and out. Charles 75N, of course. Yeah. So, yeah.
Can I do a quick shout out?
Please do. Yeah, shout it out. Shout
okay,
it out loud.
You guys.
I don't know that reference.
Tune in. You guys got to tune in tomorrow, 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 Pacific, on the new rebranded show, exclusively Van Halen. I'll be doing a giveaway. I'll be giving away one of these right here, the Eddie Van Halen Funko Pop.
I want to win that.
I'll be giving away one of these tomorrow. See, you got to subscribe to my channel. You got to be in the chat. I'll give you a special hashtag at some point. You got to enter that hashtag, and then you have to be present to win when we spin and the name is called.
Yeah, come join.
If you want to win one of these tomorrow, you got to subscribe to Johnny Bean on YouTube.
Subscribe. You have to be there for the whole show. Till the end.
You have to be there, yeah.
You have to be there to accept the prize when it's called.
To accept the award.
The award, the prize.
You got to be there, right, Janice?
Janice knows. She's leaving now, though, so she says I might be back. All right, so we have some requests to Jordan Burroughs to plug that Iconic in now. Let's hear it now. Now. Okay. Will this suffice? As a demonstration device. Yeah. That's what I said when I first saw it. I'm like, oh man, that's the one. I saw the case and I'm like, whatever's in there, I'm sure I'm gonna be happy about it. And I was. And, the rest is history. Okay, so let's see, just so I don't mess anything up, because I switched from my noisy, squeaky drum stool to this. All right.
Mm-hmm.
So here's my clean tone. Can you guys hear it okay, or should I put the mic up to it?
I think everybody can hear it all right. I had to take these out because I think it was loud.
All right, I'll move the mic back then. All right, so yeah, this is basically in the neck position here. Here's in the bridge position, humbucker, so it's a little hotter, of course. So when I dig in, and I play gently. And right now I have the EQ set with the low at like 10 o'clock, the mids at like 1 o'clock, the highs noon pretty much, Gain is at about, what, 10 o'clock or so, almost 11. And the volumes are way down, even in the 20-watt position of the amp. It is attenuable, so it has an attenuation switch that you can take it down a quarter power from the 80-watt, right? So right now we're playing at really, really low volumes. And then I do have the resonance and the presence knobs. The resonance is at like about 3 o'clock. Well, it's about 2.5 o'clock. And the presence is at roughly about almost 1 o'clock. Now I can hit a little delay, so you guys can hear a little delay with reverb. This is the Earthquaker Devices Dispatch Master. Oops, I accidentally hit the data corrupter as well.
You all right?
Yeah. So really, 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 really tasty sounding, clean tone, if you ask me. Tone. I think it's got a great sounding clean channel. And that's because it's running through 6L6s. So not EL84s, which you would typically find in higher gain amps like this, right? It's running
What was that?
6L6s. So I was saying that why I like the clean sound of this is that it's a really, really nice
Where's my mic at?
round clean. I can hear you. It's a really nice sounding clean tone. I think it's a pretty pedal platform kind of clean tone. And I'll demonstrate that by now hitting the LPD 87. So a little loud, right? Anyway, I've got the Soleo fuzz over here as well.
Do you have a? Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Are your tone knobs all the way off?
Are my tone knobs off? No. Why?
On your guitar?
On my guitar? No, it's all the way up.
Yeah. As in off, right?
Now the tone knob is down. Now the tone knob is on.
The tone knob is opposite.
What do you mean?
Okay, there you go. There you go.
I always had it on 10.
Yeah, but no, when you're see here we're talking about tone again. But no, when with the tone knob, it's the opposite. When it's all the way on, technically it's all the way off.
Oh, I
right?
see what you're saying.
It's backwards.
Well, I never really dug into exactly how the tone knob is supposed to be like explained, but yeah, I guess that's one way. I think about it as on 10, it's got all its frequencies, and when you take it down to 1, you're losing all the highs. Now you got all the highs. Now you lost all the highs. Okay. So tone knob on a Strat style guitar like this, to me, basically means you're cutting the high frequencies. Right? I don't know which bands, but yeah, you're cutting the highs, right?
Which bands use tone knobs?
No, like which, not bands, but like the bands, the frequencies. Anyway, you know what I mean.
No, I have no idea. But anyway. No, what I was saying though is it kind of sounded like either a tone was like all the way slightly on, or like the wah pedal was like slightly.
Oh yeah, before when I stepped on a pedal, I know what you're talking about. Yeah, and that might have had to do with that particular pedal and the way it's dialed in. I didn't mess around with that much, to be honest. Oh, wait a minute. You're right. The wah pedal was on. Johnny,
it was on. Yeah, I could hear it. I could hear it. See, dude.
Oh, here we go.
I'm not joking around, dude.
Stuff. All right, and I kind of heard something funky too, but I didn't quite catch it. It's hard to really hear it with the headphones on too, but that's my excuse. So that's the 87 LPD pedal, the Lawrence Petros devices or whatever pedal. All right, so here's the real clean tone. So Now that clean tone, let's say you want to use that as a pedal platform amp kind of thing. Now you got this EVH sound. And that's the EVH overdrive pedal. That's not the actual amp. Here's the actual amp. Get a little more something.
I want you to turn up the music. I liked it.
So I think that it makes a really great pedal platform amp because of that. Really, really nice, almost Fender-esque, if you want to call it, clean tone.
Well, it is a Fender.
And that's exactly the thing that Howard was telling you guys, that, you know, his ears are tuned to that kind of a sound. He was really looking to get that kind of a sound out of the clean channel, and I think he nailed it.
It's a great amp.
Now you can hit that boost. So here's a feature. So if you heard that before without the boost.
Cheer.
Now with the boost. So it gets a little bitier too. So the boost gives it a little more volume, but it gives it a little more bite.
Mm-hmm. Do you know any Van Halen songs?
No.
Because in 10 seconds it'll be 5150 time. So
oh, man.
Look at the counter. Look at the counter. So and here we go. It is 5150 time. Play some Van Halen quick.
What?
That's my very, very bad interpretation of everybody's got some or wants some.
Everybody's got some.
Everybody really wants some, but they don't got it.
Yeah, that's his house. That's his house.
I don't know the rest, so I got to learn all these songs. I got to learn Van Halen. But anyway, yeah. So back to the features of this. And by the way, Jeff K, I do have a captor, but not the X. I have the old original captor, the 8-ohm version. And I have a cab as well. And that's part of this pile of mess and madness here that's not hooked up that I need to get hooked up and working for you all. But yeah, what was I going to say? So the features of this amp are really, really cool because, you know, it's got the presence, it's got the resonance. So when you go really high gain, really loud, you can really tweak in and tune in like the sound that you want, right? So that's the louder you get, the more you're really going to get out, right?
Yeah, you're basically you're tuning the speaker.
Right, you're tuning the speaker, and then
you're tuning the cabinet.
So, you know, it does have a nice sounding, kind of classic Fender-y kind of sounding.
Yeah, it's a technically it's a spring. It's a spring. It's like a spring reverb. Those older amps had the spring, like the reverb tanks.
Right. So it's interesting, you know, but it does have that. I'd prefer a plate reverb in that amp, but it's cool that it's got that, you know. And then it's got a really nice boost. You can actually dial the boost in. So if you can see here, I'm dialing the boost here. And for example, let's say you're in this clean channel and you have the boost down all the way, you know. Turn the boost down, and it gets a little bitier. The more you turn it up, the bitier it is. Let me turn the reverb off. So here's the boost on 0 or 1. Now here you turn it up to halfway. A little bitier, right? And then you go a little all the way. It's like the volume's going up too, but it's getting even more bitey. So the more you dig in, it's more bitey, right? So that's a really nice boost. It's a nice clean boost too, because you can hear like there's no sound or fuzz here at all in the room at all. And then of course you've got 2-channel, 2 volumes for the 2 channels, separate volumes. You don't have separate EQs for the channels though. But that's one of the things Howard was talking about. I don't know if he was talking about this amp in particular or he's talking about the EVH3s. Can't hear you now. Can't hear you. Can't hear you. No sound. Something happened. Your vocal mic went out. Hello? Hello? Calling Johnny. Earth to Johnny.
Oh, it muted.
There you are. There you are.
Okay.
Oh, you muted. Okay. Because I was playing the guitar. Thank you. But what I was saying is
Can you hear me?
Yeah, now I can. Howard was talking about that they're going to have...
I can't hear anything.
Oh, you can't hear anything?
Laz.
Yeah, I can hear you.
You can hear me?
I can hear you. Yes. Yes.
Thumbs up if you can hear me.
I can hear you.
Okay, I got to go. I'm getting a phone call.
Oh, okay.
I'll see you later, man.
Laters.
Rock on, dudes. Tune in tomorrow. Tune in tomorrow.
Tune in tomorrow.
Win
Giveaway.
a Funko Pop Eddie Van Halen.
Half-Ace. What's
all right.
up, dude?
See you guys.
Yeah, everybody's got gum. That's so funny. So, yeah, the boost seems like a compressor in a way. Yeah, a little bit. So I'm not an expert on this stuff, you guys. As you know, I'm kind of new to the guitar and all this stuff when it comes to, I know what a compressor does and what it sounds like. So it's not exactly like a compressor, but it's definitely like a boost. But it is compressing some, as you turn this boost up, it's definitely giving you a little more punch, a little more grit, which would make sense because if you're turning up, an amp's volume at the pre-amp stage, right, you are going to get a little more crunch, right? Yeah, I think he was talking about the 5153s. Yeah, JJ. So, James, you probably have one of those, right? If I remember right. And you were talking about wanting to get that mod. It'd be nice to have that mod for this too, because obviously if I can affect, the EQs separately for each channel, that'd be nice, obviously, right? And then of course there's a really, really, really good noise gate on this thing. So check this out. So right now, no noise gate, and we're on the burn, and I don't know if you can hear all this. You can hear that, right? I'm sure you can. Let me turn this, I'll put it right there. Oh, dang. Come on, don't fall over. It's on carpeting, so that's why it's not. Anyway, I hope you guys can hear the noise there. So now here's the noise gate. So now the noise gate's at 3 o'clock, which is at basically 8. Here it is on 10. So it doesn't completely eliminate all the noise, but I'm not going to hit the notes right now with that right up there, but let's go back here. But right? And no noise. It's like pretty nice, right? It doesn't totally choke it, if you know what I mean. But you can dial it into where there's just a little bit So, in my mind, that's a really, really nice noise gate. It doesn't choke it out like some noise gates will choke things out, you know. It does the job, but it doesn't overdo the job, you know. And I know they didn't talk much about it in Johnny's show, how much Howard worked with Eddie in the making of this amp, but I know it's one of the things he worked on in his final years, you know. So yeah, man, it's got a great sound. So you've got, that clean, you've got a boost, then you've got the distortion channel, and then if somebody was asking earlier about a crunch tone, so here's that clean channel. Can boost that a bunch. Oops. Let's hit the gain on that a little bit. That's what I wanted to do. Take that down. So now I'm diming. Oops. I'm diming the volume. So the preamp is dimed right now. And we've got, the volume knob here pretty much almost at like halfway to 1. So that's on the humbucker. So that's what the channel boosted without the boost. Oh yeah, and of course there's an overdrive for that clean channel. So let's hit that. So the point being is that right now, let's turn up that noise gate a little bit. So the point being is that right now, I've got the clean channels volume at about 12 o'clock, and I've got the distortion, or the overdrive button pushed in. So that's not even a distortion. That's like just overdrive on the clean channel, right? That's not even the high gain channel, which is this one. Now let's turn up the volume on that, and of course that's going to happen. So yeah, there's a lot, and that's not even with the burn channel on the burn switch. So it's a lot of gain in this thing. It's about as gainy as you can get, maybe. And then I guess tweaking, all the knobs here, tweaking all the EQ settings here in the presence and the resonance to get it just the right tightness and just the right feel. Yeah, modding the EQ for channel 1 and 2 to concentric pots, right? Concentric pots, right? Concentrate. Concentric pots, yeah. So you can have two, the two channels separately, right? So yeah, man, I'm pretty impressed with it. Obviously, it's a pretty sick amp. And one of the things I want to do in the future is actually kind of, go up against this guy with it. So this is the Steve Vai Carvin Legacy amp over here. This is a 120 watt or 100 watt. Can't remember. But anyway, yeah, it's this is an 80 watt amp. And in this room, I'll never use all 80 watts. It's great that it's attenuated down, but I can imagine, playing it in 100-watt mode, or 80-watt mode, with that 4x12 I'm putting together. It's going to be pretty sick. So yeah, let me take this off and then we'll call it. Sorry I didn't bring Maximus in to the show. I was a little so excited and also nervous. If you caught the earlier part of the show, dealing with some issues. But other than that, plans are going to continue forward with the studio, but I'm going to probably put together some kind of a reverb store and sell some gear that I don't need. So if anyone's interested in some gear, I'll let you guys all know what the store is going to be called. I guess it might be like Laz's Gear Garage or something. I don't know. So, but this is staying. It's definitely staying. Yeah. And the other plan too, of course, is to put a shelf underneath the guitars here where I can stack the heads over the combos that are down below them. So I've got a couple nice combos down there too. And yeah, once this is all hooked up in here real nice, you guys, then I can do some seriously better sounding demos. Janice is back. Thank you for coming back. We got to do that latency jam, Janice. When are you ready for that? Now that I'm back in trouble. Yeah. Oh, you put me on double speed. You have me on double speed now. I've done that sometimes to get through some shows, just to get the like speed reading, just to get the info, you just kind of blast through it. Yeah. So yeah, man. So thanks everyone for joining. We went a little bit long. It's 8:36 right now. I try to keep these to an hour usually. It's tough to do that when you have a guest in, Usually we'll end the show with a guest, and I'd like to do that as a regular thing at least once in a while. Do like latency jam. I've done it a few times and it worked out. It was kind of fun. The guy who coined the term, when I kind of challenged him to do it, was Sean Pierce Johnson, and we did a latency jam. I got to bring him back on the show. That'd be great, right? He's a good guy. So set an amp sounds good and all, but it's a one-trick pony. You can only do Eddie Van Halen. Yeah, and that's what's cool about this amp, that it's not just that. It's got such a nice, like Fendery clean tone, that it's really a pedal platform amp. You can make any tone you want with it, really, if you ask me. And of course, whatever speaker configuration or setup you do will also affect things. So thanks, everyone. Thank you very much for joining. Thank you. Thank you for joining the show. And as always, I like to end by saying that the secret to tone is in your mind, but the feel comes from your heart within you, right? You put that together, what I call the mind being maybe the more concrete, more objective side of our being, and then you've got the subjective, the heart, right, the emotional, feely side of us. You put that together, you work on that combo in ways with gear. That's a little bit of both, right? And make some music with that. I plan to do a lot more of the music making this year than just buying gear and showing it off on YouTube, right? So I'll be selling it, and I'll probably do demos of the stuff I'm going to sell. And you guys could, help me out by buying some of this stuff, and then hopefully you guys will like some of the music I put together too. So until next time, Music Therapy Laz, signing off.